Hey neighbor, welcome back to Beyond ARTV. My name is John, and it's time for another episode of the Dear John Q&A. This is a show where I pull from my audience. I get you guys to leave a detailed viewer question in the comment section down below, starting with Dear John so that I can find it, and then I respond in video form if I feel it needs more context or explanation. Today we're breaking down remixes of popular songs. Are they a necessary evil to the music industry, or have they become increasingly like cash grabs? This came from That Album Reviewer Guy. It's a great question, something that I've been wanting to tackle for quite some time, so I do hope that you'll enjoy the discussion, see where I'm coming from. If you do, then do me a favor, drop a like on the video and subscribe for the love of music. Dear John, what are your thoughts on artists releasing multiple versions of the same song? Do you think it's annoying, and more so, do you think it's just a way to milk the success of a certain song? We are literally almost indoctrinated to believe that remixes are necessary for any song that gets on the charts. Any song that's popular, it probably needs a remix because that's just what everyone else is doing, I suppose? We've all seen the formula at play. You ain't sly, industry. Add a big artist to a rising star. Add a rising star to an established artist. Or add two rising stars together, add it all together, stir it in a pot, and you got capitalism, baby! Remixes so rarely work, and more often than not, they detract from what the original song had going for it by adding in somebody that clearly wasn't meant to be there. Oh, let's shoehorn them in because I guess we need a guest feature from a rapper like DaBaby, Lil Wayne, Wiz Khalifa. Remember Payphone back in 2012? That wasn't even a remix, but it was the first time that I thought critically about the fact that, I don't know why else this is here other than to serve the purpose of opening the doors to a wider audience. And there's nothing wrong with that on paper, but just listen to Payphone and you know that Wiz Khalifa had no idea what the track was about. 2020 has been the ultimate year for a lot of bad shit, and just added on top of it, not really the worst piece of the puzzle, but still something that's floating around in my mind, it's been the ultimate year for bad remixes of popular songs. It's become so egregious, just so synonymous with culture that, like I said, we expect it, and that's a bad thing. I think the expectation of needing the remix and not marketing the original song properly, I don't know, it just seems a little bit lazy. Think about it like this. We've been tearing Hollywood a new one for all of these years because guess what? Movies that don't need sequels still happen because they see dollar signs in the eye. Why would they see dollar signs there? Well, because of an established franchise. Why do you think we got Shrek the fucking 4th? No one needed that. Smash Mouth weren't even involved, so who gives a shit, right? We all know what we were here for, but that clearly wasn't it. Now, I think the standard has dropped so much, the bar is just so low for what's popular and what actually crosses over and becomes a hit, because there's so many avenues to blow up these days. The list of remixes in 2020 alone is so staggering that I can't even cover it in a single video. We're just gonna have to touch on some of the highlights, or I guess I should say lowlights. Doja Cat's Say So remix with Nicki Minaj that boosted it up to #1. That clearly did not need to happen. The original is so much better. Dua Lipa's Levitating featuring DaBaby. I'm never listening to that. You cannot top perfection. That is a literal perfect pop song. Do not tell me otherwise. 24 Karat Golden and Dior's Mood remix with J Balvin and Justin Bieber. Bieber can't help himself. He just keeps throwing himself at every shitty remix. He's turning in the worst verses ever. It's so physically cringeworthy. I'm looking at the Bad Guy remix, the Yummy remix, just the original version of Yummy 2, of course, but also this new version of Mood. The original song is fantastic. Why did we need this trash-ass remix? Megan Thee Stallion featuring Beyonce Savage boosted it up to #1. AJR Bang featuring Haley Kiyoko. I don't understand that one. The original song, as much as I might hate it, is still rising up the charts. That remix literally got swept under the rug almost instantly. 6ix9ine himself joined in on the fun with the Trollz alternate versions, buying their way to #1 with Nicki Minaj. And then the king of all bad remixes and just absolutely stretching it to the nth degree. Why would we ever need this? Dynamite by BTS. That is forcing a hit song if I have ever seen one. There are 10 fucking versions of this song. That never needs to happen for any song. I don't care if it's the best song on the fucking planet, it doesn't need that. We have the original Dynamite, Dynamite Instrumental, Dynamite Acoustic Remix, EDM Remix, Tropical Remix, Poolside Remix, Slow Jam Remix, Midnight Remix, Bedroom Remix, Retro Remix. When will it end? Please stop! If you don't see exactly what their management are doing here, it's taking advantage of young fans that want to, support the artist, so I'm going to buy up every version that they release because we want this to stick around on the charts. Would this song have gotten there without those remixes? It probably would have hit #1 and then dropped after a week, but they kept pushing and pushing all of the merch bundles, all of the other scummy tactics that, again, I'm not necessarily blaming BTS themselves for, but the management behind it is just so outrageous. How can you push this and not say, we're taking advantage of fans? There's tons of more examples of this, but I don't have all day. You guys get the point. I think it's become so synonymous because, like I said, everybody's kind of twisting the hand of the industry to say this is going to be a hit song, except songs that debut at #1, like I've talked about before. Do they even mean anything? I mean, look at Travis Scott and 6ix9ine. They're dropping so high from #1 all the way back down the charts, and then they're off the Hot 100 entirely. I think these merch bundles kind of replace the Ticketmaster scheme where, we bundle together the concert and the album and it looks like we got a higher chart placement. Well, now they're getting rid of the merch bundles, so what do we do now? Remix! There's rare examples of it working out kind of nicely. I did like the In Your Eyes remix by The Weeknd featuring Doja Cat, the original Old Town Road remix, not the original song, the one with Billie Ray Cyrus, and then of course they just couldn't help themselves. They had to milk it dry. We got Mason Ramsey, we got Young Thug, we got one of the guys from BTS. They just couldn't stop because they saw it in their eyes. Well, we gotta have the longest running #1. We couldn't let it be natural, so let's force it and put out remixes. I think at some point Billboard is going to have to intervene here because it's going to happen more and more and more. If they can't do the merch bundle, if they can't do the Ticketmaster bundle, if they can't do any of that stuff, you have to find a way to cheat the industry, right? We have to find a way to get it at the top of the charts, and this is what's doing it. Now, this does happen in other genres. I'm not saying that it never does, and it happens on alternative charts, it happens on pop, rock, hip-hop, whatever, but it's the most obvious in the top 40 of the Hot 100. To summarize my thoughts, these remixes are nothing more than soulless cash grabs 95% of the time. No one really needs them. They only do it because they're banking on the fact that you recognize another artist and maybe you'll listen to it because of that. There are other ways to break people. Market your original song better, especially if you got gold like Levitating by Dua Lipa. And please stop with the egregious remixes. These, of course, are just my thoughts. I would love to know your take in the comment section down below. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Dear John. If you did, then drop a like on it. Subscribe for the love of music. If you want to catch up on past episodes, there's a video on screen now, or tap here for that original main channel video I made about #1's not really meaning anything anymore. All of my socials are down below, and I'll be back soon for more on Beyond ARTV.